What's up guys, it's Widgeon TV here. For several hundred years, tales of the Snallygaster have terrified the people of Frederick County. Described as being half reptile, half bird, this winged creature is said to live deep in the caves of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Legend has it this mysterious monster swoops down from the sky and steals everything from chickens to children. Is this creature the product of high superstition? And have you seen the blue and red sign? Today we continue our look into the real-life history and folklore of Fallout 76's newly added creatures. We will also be speculating on what role the Snallygaster will play in Fallout 76. If you haven't seen my videos about the Mothman, Wendigo, or the Flatwoods monster, I highly recommend going and watching those videos. Alright, just like the Wendigo, the Snallygaster isn't truly native to West Virginia. Although there has been a couple sightings of this creature in West Virginia, most sightings were located near the greater DC area in Maryland. But because West Virginia is only a short 45-minute drive from DC, I'm gonna go ahead and let this one slide. Alright, the Snallygaster is a pest-like creature, said to inhabit the hills of Washington DC and Frederick County, Maryland. It got its name from a group of German immigrants in the early 1730s who documented being terrorized by a horrific creature who they nicknamed the Quick Spirit, or Snallygaster in German. At this point, nobody had actually seen this creature, but the settlers knew it was there because they would lose chickens and livestock. In 1909, James Harding was the first person to see it. He described it as having enormous wings, a long sharp beak, claws like steel, and a single eye in the middle of its forehead. He also said that it made a shrill shrieking noise, and looked like a cross between a tiger and a vampire. And a vampire may have been a pretty good description, because it was reported that a Snallygaster had killed an African American man named Bill Jefferson by piercing his neck with its sharp bill and slowly sucking his blood out of his body. Unlike some of the other creatures I have covered, there are a ton of sightings of the Snallygaster. Here are just a few. It was seen in West Virginia, where it almost caught a woman working near a barn. It was reported that it had also laid a large egg. Some say that it was big enough that it could hatch an elephant. Some men had reportedly rigged up an incubator to try to hatch it. That was in 1909. It was also spotted in Maryland. A man had recently fired up his brick-burning kiln. When the man returned to the kiln the next day, he saw the Snallygaster huddled around the kiln's output, presumably for warmth. When the creature's sleep was disturbed by the man, it emitted a blood-curdling scream and angrily flew away. There are many more stories like this, including a story that involves moonshine and dynamite. If you want more stories about the Snallygaster, I highly recommend reading Snallygaster: The Lost Legend of Frederick County. It's an extremely well-written and well-researched book. I'll put a link in the description for you guys. After several years of sightings and descriptions, the alleged appearance of this creature changed dramatically. In the early 1900s, it was now described as having a long tail and octopus-like tentacles that came out of its mouth. This creature now looked as if it was ripped straight out of H.P. Lovecraft's Necronomicon. Also very Lovecraftian, farmers started painting seven-sided stars on the sides of their barns in order to keep the Snallygaster away. Nobody really knows where this trend started, but some say it came from the Pennsylvania Dutch tradition of hex signs, or symmetrical shapes, generally stars, that are meant to ward off evil spirits. Some barns in the area still feature a seven-pointed star, just in case the Snallygaster ends up being real. In Fallout 76's camp trailer, we see blue and red signs in the shape of stars on the outside of barns. One has to wonder if these things are related. Speaking of Fallout 76, let's talk about it. There isn't a lot that we have seen about the Snallygaster. We do know its general description though. In the trailers, we can see that it has lost its rather iconic wings. It might be that we're seeing a different variant of the Snallygaster that doesn't fly, assuming there is a version that does fly, but this is still unknown. We can also assume that this creature will be found exclusively in the post-nuked areas that are full of radiation because of its highly irradiated appearance and the fact that that's where we see him in most of the trailers. But then again, again, we might see him wandering around everywhere, because of its similar appearance to the mole rat. If you look close, you can see that the creature is roughly based on the mole rat, with its similar back and head. This creature might just be a straight replacement for the mole rat. Anyway, these are just my theories. I would love to hear what you have to say down in the comments below. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out my small channel. Also consider following me on Twitter. It's the best place for me to keep in contact with you guys. Anyway, this has been Widgeon TV. Thanks for watching, guys.